Hello, yes, this is pre-video Callum. Just want to say thank you for 100 subscribers. Alright, that was my 2021 goal, so by 2022 to be at 100 subscribers. And I'm currently on, as of the 4th of November, date stamping, yay, 105. Many thank yous. Makes me happy. Now on to 1,000. But anyway, I'm talking too much now and you're probably just here to see the video. Enjoy. Peace. Hello there, welcome back to yet another video. So glad to have you here. Apologies for not uploading once again for a really long time, just life and stuff is happening. So today we're going to be talking about a lens, and a very specific lens. It is the lens that I'm currently using at the moment. It is the Canon RF 15-35mm F2.8. And just as a forefront, it's a great lens. It really is. It's going to be a short review, and I only got it relatively recently in comparison to where its release was, so this is going to be a little review in case anyone is looking to buy it. I've never really used wide-angle lenses before getting this camera set up. I got this at the same time as the R6. Link to this video, whichever side it is, when I actually got it. I think the widest I ever really shot at was 24mm. It's pretty wide, but on an APS-C sensor, you're looking at about 50mm full frame equivalent. I was always pretty uncomfortable with the idea of using a super wide lens like a 15mm. Because the idea of vignette, a lot of the older style lenses like the EF, I think it's a 10 to 12mm or something like that, or 8 to 12, I can't remember. And I remember seeing that and there was so much like dark vignetting, the warping around it, and I was just like, I don't really want it because it's so wide and it's going to take so much adjustment in Lightroom and it's going to just... But so far, I've noticed this lens is clean. It is crispy clean around the edges. There's not much warping. For example, if I go completely wide, my hand is still roughly the same size as it is here. There's no stretching like you'd usually get from a wide-angle lens. So, and also this is 15mm. You can see how massive it makes this room look. And I'm about a foot away from the lens. But as I said, I didn't want to review this lens straight away because I'm not personally used to using wide-angle lens. So I wanted to use it a little bit longer and use it in a few different jobs and a few different settings, video, photo, before I actually gave my official review for it. Regarding this for photography, it is incredible. The f2.8 has allowed me to get some incredible photos in darker scenes than I'd usually be able to. So I use this lens to shoot pre-wedding photos in someone's house. Now, in a house, there's not much light, so I ended up using this. And I chose this over a 50mm or the 85mm, which I've got, because it was indoors in a small room. I wanted the room to look bigger and not claustrophobic, and the f2.8 allowed me to do that. Here are a few like example photos that I've taken on this lens from both some of the wedding photos and also some other photos I took from Scotland, Wales, stuff like that. So enjoy those. Now, for video, this lens has just changed the game completely. I have been shooting with an 18, I think it's 1 second. So I've been shooting with this setup before getting on the R6 and the 15-35, and I was on an 18mm, so it's an f3.5 to 5.6. And my God, I could never shoot at night with this thing. I hated shooting at night with this thing. But this, with the f2.8, yes, I love it. It makes me so happy to shoot in darker situations. So ever since I've got the R6 a couple of months ago, I've shot pretty much every video, minus little bits of B-roll, which I use the 85 for, on this lens. The 15mm is plenty wide enough. As you can see in this video, I'm on 28mm, about 1.5 foot away from the lens, and you can still see so much space around me. And again, if I go all the way out, you can see absolutely everything. I'm pretty much open my arms fully, and I've got 2 meters roughly worth of arm span. So that's pretty wide. So originally I was having to use like a Gorilla-Pod for like Casey Neistat style vlogging. But now with this thing, I can simply just carry the camera body, the camera lens, and a microphone, which is pretty much what I've got set up now on top of the tripod, hold the lens a foot away from my face, and I've got my face, the entire scene, any people I've got in the video as well, like Georgie recently in the Wales vlogs, link up here. Yeah, it's just changed the game. And again, I don't have to worry about vignetting with this, like having someone in the edge of the frame whose face is just suddenly stretched out like you would in a normal sort of 15mm lens from 5 or 10 years ago. It'd be a fisheye effect. And obviously F2.8, you get that nice blurry background, which is very desirable, and I'm very happy with it. So speaking of video, this lens has 5-point image stabilization. Now, I don't know much about how image stabilization works. I should probably look into it, but I just normally let the magical goblins within the lens do their work. I don't need to know about that magic. Now, there is a little bit of stabilization warp that happens, but that's pretty natural when it comes from the image stabilization from the actual camera itself, linked with that of the lens. There's always going to be that little bit of wobble. That's pretty natural, you can't really escape that. Best thing to do would be able to put like warp stabilizer on in Premiere, and it fixes it up pretty quickly, to be fair. And now some other like little technical points, which I'm going to read off my phone because I can't remember them. It has a Canon Nano USM motor for silent and fast auto pulling, and it obviously has that RF control ring on the lens, which I don't actually use. I don't like it. I have all the controls where my thumb would be, so I don't know why I'd need to. It's also designed for only full frame, but that doesn't really matter because the Canon R ecosystem is only full frame at the moment. I wonder if they'll actually release an APS-C version of the R6. That'd be really cool. I'd want to test that. This lens is also tough, like really tough. I have maybe dropped it a few times, and recently after the wedding, after a few sherbet dib-dabs, we will say, it got accidentally knocked off quite a high place onto solid wood floor because I put it there when I was not intox. Don't drink, kids. Damages your camera equipment. Not this though, this lens is very tough. So a single negative I have about this lens, which is quite good to be fair for a lens that I use every day, it's heavy. It is heavier than the R6 itself as well. 840 grams for a single lens. Now that sort of weight I could understand for a telephoto, like a 70-200 or 400mm, because they're big long lenses. This is a wide angle. Why does it weigh so much? Like, I don't mind, because it is such a good lens, it is worth that bit of extra weight to carry around. But my entire setup that I carry around for vlogging, for example, or photography, weighs nearly 2 kilos, sometimes over 2 kilos if I've got accessories on, like the microphone, like battery mount and stuff like that. It gets really heavy. It's like an arm workout every time you look, it's like, God, biceps and shoulders, God. So to conclude, I really like this lens. It is crispy clean, it is fast, it is stable, it makes everything look really nice, and it's so versatile when it comes to landscape photography and even portraiture. Here's some portraits of Georgie that I took the other day, and she looks great. Go follow her on Twitch. Shameless plug. Yeah. This lens will just live in my bag pretty much forever. I don't care what other lenses. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Just a little technical video talking about pros and cons of this lens. Oh, many pros, one con of this lens. Hope you enjoyed. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I shall see you in the next video. Peace. You thought I was going to cover the lens, didn't you? No, I'm just going to switch the lights off and walk away. See ya.